Oh yes, this might be the most based main character you'll see the entire season, because our MC here in 2.5 Dimensional Seduction does not let himself be swayed by filthy 3D women. No, he is true and only interested in based 2D waifus. Hello, welcome back. In this one, we are indeed going over episode 1 of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. And you know what? This episode was a blast for me. I really enjoyed it. There were ecchi elements, though not as pronounced as I would like. Hopefully that comes later. And very many absolutely hilarious and based moments between the main character and the heroine here, so to speak. And also some underlying wholesome elements that I will be discussing later as well. Let's just jump right into the premise here, right? I mean, I think just the setup of the show is absolutely spelled out to be hilarious, right? This absolute die-hard otaku that is absolutely in love with his waifu Lilial, cares for no other waifus, I suppose, and does definitely not care for 3D filthy real women. I mean, base, not gonna lie. But of course, things get ever so complicated when a real 3D woman walks in the door to the manga club where he is now the only member. And well, as she is such a based waifu herself, it is hard not to start to like her as well. And especially when you are a weeb like our MC is, and you have such a die-hard love for your 2D waifu, and a 3D real-life girl comes into your life and just right away basically dresses up to perfection as the anime waifu you are die-hard in love with and addicted to, and even acts like her in a very realistic fashion. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you're dead. Like, you're absolutely done for. There's no way you can resist that. No way. And our MC, well, he's trying to stay strong so far. He really is. But I can see this story taking many interesting turns over the course of this season. But yes, this first episode was absolutely hilarious. I really had a good time with it. The premise is hilarious. I love the interactions between our main character and our heroine character here, so to speak, our definite waifu character. Just the dialogue between them was very nice and fun and super hilarious in many areas. The comments that our MC makes throughout the episode really just hit well with me and made me chuckle and laugh and smile a ton. Really, I had a super good time with it. You know, all the simple comments he makes throughout, like filthy 3D women, I'd never been to those, and the comments of, should I really let this girl into the manga club? Like, this club is about ass and titties, not some shoujo manga shit. It's like, goddamn, this guy is so based. I can't even explain how based he is. And just how he continually puts down 3D girls just to say that his waifu is all he needs in life. Literally everything he needs, and he's happy. Again, absolute Giga Chad. But of course, he ends up letting this heroine waifu into the manga club because she is an absolute true otaku as well. Though her tastes run more in the erotic scene, as apparently she loves, well, semi-softcore cosplaying, which, I mean, well, that's a keeper, I'll have to say that. And just how casual she is as well, with just changing right in front of him, getting into cosplay, and how passionate she is about actually playing the character is really nice to see as well. Because far too often, as we all probably know, many women end up cosplaying not because they have any actual passion for things. I mean, sure, that exists as well, let's not gloss over that, but a good, decent portion of women that actually cosplay, especially that do these sexy cosplays and more softcore cosplays, do it more or less purely for attention, and to go to these fairs where they know they'll be the hottest thing around, will get tons of attention and whatever else, and just feed their own egos, etc. Especially in the West, that is far too common. But here, it's nice to see a female character that is just super passionate and actually loves what she's doing and loves the character and is doing it out of pure passion of creation and not anything else, which is great. Well, I guess you can also make the argument that she is doing it in a way for a reason to express herself that she would not be confident enough to do otherwise, but we will get into that point somewhat later. Of course, though, our main character does end up accepting our waifu into the club and accepts being her photographer as she is starting her cosplay semi-softcore journey, I suppose, and he is starting his journey as her photographer, letting his passion for Lillian just guide him to wonderful photography bliss. And I guess our MC is slightly starting to crack as he, at the end, does think to himself that, 3D girls are still bad, but maybe 2.5D girls are not terrible. I'll have to give them a try just to test out how nice they might be. And I mean, what guy wouldn't really give a girl like this a chance, even if they had sworn off IRL 3D girls? When something like this comes along, it's like, you know what? Heck it. I gotta try. I mean, this is too good to pass up, you know what I mean? Outside all the humor though, which was very rampant and all over the place, there were also somewhat cute underlying wholesome elements and story here as well in this episode. Before we get into that though, if you are enjoying the video, get any value out of it or entertainment, please remember to like and subscribe. It greatly helps out the channel, so thank you. Now, yes, as I said, while the humor is definitely here and I had a hilarious fun time with the interactions and everything that happened this episode, I do like the underlying wholesome themes that this show represents subtly throughout the episode. For example, the theme that, hey, our waifu main character girl here, heroine, it does to me clearly seem like she's a bit shy and timid and closed off in her normal everyday life, right? But cosplay is her way of expressing herself, being passionate, outgoing, confident, and not really caring, clearly as you see in the episode, how she is or how she looks. I mean, she just casually shows off her panties back and forth, or backside, front side rather, and everything else, and wears sexy costumes and revealing costumes without even having a single thought for how she looks or how she's just presenting herself or showing herself off, because she doesn't really, I suppose, consider it herself, but considers it the character. So therefore, it's like a separation there, like a mental separation, compartmentalization for her. So it's fine. And I am curious to see where they go with that sort of underlying story, if anywhere, during the course of this season. I do also have no problem with the sort of underlying message I sort of got through this first episode that, hey, you know, no matter the gender, if you're really into and passionate about the subject or club you want to join, then that's totally fine, right? Nothing wrong with that. But to be specific and add a caveat to that, people that join clubs that are not really passionate about what they're doing, in this case, this mostly means females, traditionally, especially in nerd circles, especially sort of mid women that don't look amazing, but they try to insert themselves into in-groups, especially in certain fandoms, and join it not because they are into whatever the fandom is into, or is really passionate about what the fandom or group is passionate about, but because they just want to be part of an in-group and be the big fish in a small pond, and just be the only girl in a specific group, and therefore get a ton of attention and whatnot from every other male there. Now that, I absolutely take distance from and despise. But women joining clubs, or especially male-dominated spaces in this way, where they have honest passion and interest in the subject, is of course totally fine and thumbs up. But yes, this possibly ongoing wholesome undertone of being able to express yourself via cosplay can be nice to explore if they choose to do that. And of course as well, the inevitable rom-com starts to build up here by the end of episode 1, when our MC Otaku starts getting feelings for her, or starts getting interested in our 2.5D girl, especially after getting a nice handful, if you know what I mean. And our girl here as well, after being caught and rescued from falling onto the floor and maybe hurting herself, commenting to herself, oh wow, he is much stronger than he looks, and clearly thinking she has a fever, but we all know what she is getting hot for. So yes, this romance story is sure to be hilarious as well, though also pretty wholesome so far, I have to say. Though just thinking about the role-playing aspect here, when our MC calls our cosplaying waifu by her, cosplay name and not her actual name, and how she jokingly sort of responds in the same way. It's like, are we gonna do some role playing here? Like, what are we getting up to here? Oh my, are we getting into some softcore stuff? Because in that case, I'm all on board. Let's go. The last point here, though, I want to mention and talk a bit about is the ecchi. So, as I mentioned, this is supposed to be like a pretty heavy or semi-heavy ecchi show, as far as I am aware, as far as I've been told. Like, the source material, as far as I have been told, is very sort of heavy on ecchi. But in episode 1, we really don't get a ton of ecchi content, it seems like. Like, yeah, sure, you have a few ecchi shots, especially like the panty shot, front and back. But even when the back shot with the panties is what is being shown, you see that it only shows the top portion, not the entire backside, so to speak. And then you have to wonder, is that censored? Like, is that made specifically to not show the entire thing? And if it is, that is not a good sign for the rest of the season, especially considering the production studio that's made this have butchered multiple, even many ecchis in the past. I can somewhat understand if they don't want to show like too much, right? Like be really softcore with it, on streaming services because there are certain rules and regulations to that, and you can get like an uncensored version on Blu-ray like Redo of Healer. But that is reserved for way more heavy-duty stuff. Like what they have shown so far, by far is within PG ratings, and they can definitely show way more, and be way more risque without going overboard. So I do really hope that they end up not censoring anything here, and that they actually showcase the ecchi as true to the source material as they can. And if there are some scenes they can't animate on streaming services or TV, then at least have that be in like a Blu-ray release later on, right? Anyhow, I hope they don't fuck that up, because that'll make me really, really sad. My overall thoughts, though, on this episode, I like it. Like, I actually really like this first episode. It was a really fun time, hilarious time even. Love the characters, love this setup and the premise here, and it even looks like it's a double core as far as I saw. So a double core of this sounds absolutely hilariously fun and amazing. So I'm really looking forward to that. I enjoy the wholesome and cute undertones, and just the hilarious comedy bits and ecchi elements that are mixed together in the way they are in this show so far. I think the mix of all these things are really well made so far, and makes for a really entertaining and fun time. Again, just overall, I had a really fun time with this first episode, and I hope it continues this way, because then I do think it will definitely be one of my favorite sort of ecchi rom-com shows that I've seen in a while. Anyhow, though, what do you think of episode 1 of 2.5 Dimensional Seduction? Like it, hate it, leave all those comments down below, or any other comments or questions you have about me or the video or anything else really. That being said, hope you have a good day, keep watching anime, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.